And welcome to another evening of frank conversation here on Hard Copy, coming to you from our studios in Abuja. I'm Maokpe Ogun Yusuf, and I'm happy to be back. Special thanks to my colleague Bukola Koka, who held fort while I was away. It's still the month of Nigeria's independence, and I hope you've celebrated the way you can and said a prayer for our country. And I hope you did your celebration using our correct flag, the green, white, green, without any embellishment. For example, a coat of arms in the middle or any other additions. They deface our flag. Our flag is a simple green, white, and green again. 63 years is no mean feat. Yet, if you ask many Nigerians, they'll tell you that we're still far from where we desire to be as a country. One nation living in justice and peace. And that's going to be the crux of our conversation tonight. Honorable Ben Etanabene, a member of the House of Representatives, representing the good people of Okwe, Sapele, Uwie Federal Constituency in Delta State, is our guest tonight. Honorable, we're happy to have you on Hard Copy.
Thank you for having me.
Well, I know that when I was trying to get up stuff about you, one of the things that prominently immediately came out at me was a viral video of you, your fish farm, you know, saying that, look, the fact that you're not a member of the House of Reps doesn't mean that you would not work again. So I wanted to ask, how are the fishes doing?
Very, very fine.
So you're still keeping your farm?
Yeah, sure.
You have time for them?
For sure.
Okay.
Yes.
I think one of the things that came out from there was whether or not you support the agitations. Well, it's been like something that Nigerians have been proposing for a time now, that members of the House of Reps or members of the National Assembly should work part-time. They should have full-time jobs, and this should be something that they do on the side. Is this something that you support?
Yes, completely. You know, we are talking not on self-interest, but in the interest of Nigeria. In fairness, my thinking personally is that we should have one house, you know, not a bicameral legislature, but one house.
One house?
Yes, yes.
With how many members? 360 or 109?
360. You know, the constituencies in Nigeria, they are covered by 360, you know, members. It will help us to save a lot of money. Mm-hmm. It will help us to concentrate the more on our duties of oversight. And above all, there will be no duplication of committees and functions. You know. Then, part-time would have done the magic, you know, for us. So, the only those who are interested to serve, you know, serve genuinely, you know, will come to the house. You
think that you would have been able to manage your work, a full-time job, and what it is that you're currently doing as a member of the House?
Presently, we are sitting just 3 days in a week, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. So we still have Monday, Friday, and the weekends to do some
committee work?
Yeah, committee work also too.
Oversight?
Oversight can be fixed within the same time frame, you know, within which we are still sitting, you know, presently. Now, by practice, we're supposed to be rounding up every sitting by 2 o'clock, you know, but now we stay till about 3:30, 4, you know. So if we stick to resuming early by the day, maybe about 9 or 10 in the morning, and round up by 1, I'm sure we'll still have time to do committee works and some other oversight functions.
Okay, it'll be very interesting to, you know, hear what other members have to say about that. But I was wondering, for you, being in the House of Representatives, having a mix, having a feel of just how many people are in the National Assembly. I mean, you are now one of 360 in the House and maybe one of almost 500 plus in the National Assembly as a whole, you know, getting different ideas. Some people will say that the National Assembly was made very powerful for a reason. When you say that one house, just having one house, don't you think that you will have a National Assembly that will be too powerful without having its own powers checked within itself?
No, I don't really think so. Now, there are many countries that are doing a unicameral legislation, you know, and they are doing very well, you know. I think maybe the practice, the way we copied it from the presidential system in America, you know, is not well, you know, thought out, you know, in the sense that we may not have the resources, to actually maintain, I'm just being personal. I think my primary reason is the maintenance of
the cost.
Involved. And at a time like this, where the way we are going, we're not getting money as we used to in the past, and the population of Nigeria is getting, much more. So everything we are doing in this country, we should be thinking of cutting down, cost.
The cost.
And if it starts from the legislature, I don't see anything wrong with that.
How seriously would you think that your fellow members are taking this issue of cost, saving costs?
Yes, many are concerned. Many are concerned. Very many are concerned. About actually reducing the cost.
Yeah.
We're also too very sensitive.
Concern is not enough. I mean, what are they pushing as a result of their concern?
Well, we're just starting. We're just starting work. I'm sure as we are progressing, you will see members also talking about how much we can get down the cost, of running the place. Well,
I know that, in 63 years, a lot of people have different things to say. People, some people are hopeful. Some people see our glass as half full. Some see it as half empty. Where do you stand, amongst the divide? Are you happy with our journey so far? Are you unhappy? What are your thoughts?
It's a mixed feeling for me, really mixed feeling. One of happiness, another one of sadness. Happy that we've stayed together as a family for 63 years, in spite of all the, very rough challenges. We stay together. We seem to love ourselves. There's no doubt about it. If you stay in other places outside your own, you are welcome. It's not like the tensions we used to have maybe within the Civil War period and all those stuff. So Nigeria is getting more stable in that, area. I also too believe that 24 years, in this
democracy,
yes, we've done very well. We've maintained stability, unlike what we used to have in the past. If we had allowed our founding fathers, to experience 24 years uninterrupted, I'm sure Nigeria would have been one of those, great nations in the world, today. So in those areas, kudos, to Nigeria. But my sad feeling will be described more with a discussion I had with one of my support, staff 2 or 3 days before independence. We were coming and I said, if they ask us an essay question, what are we going to be celebrating in the next few days, making 63 years of Nigeria? The gentleman looked at me and said, we're going to be celebrating 1,000 naira to $1. We're going to be celebrating 650 naira for a liter of petrol. We're going to be celebrating 1,000 naira, for diesel. And I was just looking at him. That is a sad reality. Then I add, we're going to be celebrating a palliative that we don't really understand. I don't agree, with that. The best palliative should not be discriminatory. It should not be sectional. It should be something for every Nigerian, to enjoy. We are the ones suffering the hardship. No, it's not a section of people, that is suffering it alone. Kudos to the Nigeria Labour Congress, but they are speaking for their members, which constitute less than a small percentage of the Nigerian people. Best palliative is to return that price to what it was before, at least. That is the only way all of us as Nigerians, will enjoy it. Is the reality, of it. We might be thinking of all these palliatives we are talking about. Let's be realistic. Is it solving any problem? No. The issues are still the same. So.
I have a question on the economy much later, and I think I'll let you, I think your party has also, criticized heavily the 35,000 naira, which federal government recently approved and announced, the president announced on Independence Day.
Okay.
But let me take you up on this issue of nationhood, democracy that has now lasted 24 years. And you say that if we had allowed our founding fathers to enjoy 24 years of unbroken democracy, we would not be where we are. But we have also seen that over the years, democracy is not exactly the way we're practicing it. It's like it's leaving us more divided than united. It is tearing at the seams of our unity. You have recently, you not only won at the polls, you also had to win at the tribunal where your opponent took you to. And at the end of the day, you find that you have the job to represent the people that voted for you and those who did not vote for you. We still have judicial clouds hanging over our presidential elections. As a matter of fact, Vice President Atiku Abubakar is in court alongside the presidential candidate of your own party. And Nigerians are still in camps. So looking at where we currently are, this discord we tend to see in our polity, how do you think that we can practice this democracy in a way that it doesn't leave us so divided?
I'm not going to sound like somebody with no hope for the future, but I also to believe that I should be very frank, to truth. If I don't want to say it, I don't need to. If we continue to practice this kind of democracy and governance the way we are doing it today, for the next 100 years, we will not take one step forward. Take example. Okay, let me just even link it up with the court cases and those who are in tribunals and the rest. INEC as an institution, INEC can save us a lot of embarrassment and a lot of problems. If INEC gets it right with the right person and the right process of election, we will not have these tribunal, problems we're having today. Now, INEC is a place where, the standard, the way we're expected to do the election should be known to everybody, from ab initio. But that is not the case. That is why there are a lot of confusion as to whether this person got the right number of votes or what happened to this person's certificate and whether it was nominated properly and all those. All these are things INEC should have cleared, even before election. And at the end of election, INEC is in a position to tell and prove to the court, should there be any who actually won the election, not the person.
So you think that that's something that should move? Because some people have also argued that that should be a major thrust of our electoral reforms, that in many instances where it is he who alleges that must prove, some people are saying no, it should be INEC that should. Is the elections that INEC conducted that has been called to question, and INEC should be the one to, prove that he conducted elections that were beyond reproach? You are with that school of thought?
Completely. The petitioner should be suing INEC and not the person who. You
don't think everybody will be suing INEC as a result of that?
No, because it's going to be easier. We might not go. Meaning INEC will keep their documents right, follow the processes of nomination, and even at the time of election, when INEC declares you, the facts are clear. They are not what can be challenged, easily. And if Nigerians, see that, the motivation to challenge, election results declared by INEC, with the process known to everybody, will not be there.
But did you find it like that in your own experience?
Well, that is the same problem I'm facing today. You just announced that I succeeded at the tribunal stage, and I'm aware also too the opponent is going on appeal. What are they appealing for? The election was clear. The overwhelming support I got within my federal constituency as an obedient candidate was massive. If they do that election the next 20 times, the result is only going to be, the gap is only going to be wider, But yet the candidate, is in the tribunal.
So doesn't that speak more to our attitude than, the process itself?
They are capitalizing on the loopholes, in the way the election, went. That's just it. Like I said, issues of nomination, INEC could take care of that easily at the beginning by participating in the primaries of the various parties. So when your petitioner comes to court and is talking about, you were not properly nominated, like I said, if INEC is the onus of proof is with INEC, it's easy for INEC to really explain all those facts.
Well, Honorable, one of the things that the South sadly is known for is agitations. I do not know what the state currently is. Whether you would say that the agitations are coming down or whether they are, increasing. Do you think that the federal government is beginning to address the yearnings of the people of not just your own constituency, but of the South region in general?
I think when you beat people to a point where they cannot cry anymore, they just keep quiet.
Do you think they're no longer crying?
They are crying. The pains are there. It's getting more serious. You know, no doubt about it.
With regards to what precisely?
Development and economic activity. Let me just give you a chap. For the past 4 years, to leave Benin to worry is a serious problem. And only on Sunday here, a tanker fell and there was an explosion that killed a lot of people. For just a kilometer or two that requires repairs in that Olugbo, Cocoa Oasis, government is not paying attention. The East-West Road, you know, is there all these years. It's not completed, you know, to date. Let somebody show me what federal government presence is in that. Let me not talk about the whole of even Delta State. Let me talk about where I represent, Let them point one thing that has been done in that place. Look at the Abraka Agbo Road. I mean, that is something that you cannot comprehend why it is like that. The suffering to get from Warri to Abraka is a serious problem. And that's the college town, you know, the flag university, you know, in Delta. It's a difficult, you know, process. People used to pass through the bush. If what we know in Niger Delta, we are contributing to the central pulse, I don't think we are getting a commensurate value, you know, of what we are putting in. I don't think so.
Yeah, but even when infrastructure gets that bad, we know that there have been some special purpose vehicles meant specifically for the development of the Niger Delta. It easily comes to my NDDC is one. There's a whole ministry dedicated to the Niger Delta. These are federal institutions meant to look after the development in the Niger Delta. And we've seen some of the most scandalous things that have come out from these. From one of them in particular, the NDDC, we saw the probe that, you know, happened in the National Assembly, brought up by members there. And it was nothing to write home about. Do you really think that the people can continue to say they have been neglected when oftentimes the people who actually neglect them are their own people?
Those who are managing NDDC, they are not from the Niger Delta. They are from Abuja here. And they are certainly not people from the Niger Delta. They are not from the Niger Delta? They are not from the Niger Delta. The control of NDDC is not from Niger. Forget about all these chairmen and MDs, you know, you put there. They take instructions from people here in Abuja. That's it. So it is difficult for them to exercise freedom and their zeal to do what is necessary for the people of Niger Delta. They find it very difficult.
Are you making excuses for them?
I'm not making an excuse. I think they designed the Niger Delta not to be independent. They designed the Niger Delta Commission not to be independent so that they still hold on to the control. See, the way what we're experiencing in the Niger Delta Commission today is not the same thing we're experiencing in the Northeast Development, you know, Commission. All eyes are focused on the Niger Delta. Not even by the Niger Delta people, by people who are outside the Niger Delta. If they leave that commission for the board to operate independently, we'll get many of these problems solved.
So I will ask you about how you intend, because I also know that you've decided that you'll give members in your own constituency, starting with elderly people, some amount of money every month, at least for a period, to help ease the pains. If you, as a member of the House of Representatives, are doing that from your own pocket, how much more do you think a federal government can do to actually ease the pains of those who are vulnerable in society?
Sorry, thank you very much. See, once again, I'm speaking my mind for myself. I do not really believe that there is subsidy. I do not. And I've held this position since 2001. When I was branch chairman of Pengasing. The first time the government wanted to increase fuel prices, we shouted. And Pengasing took a position then, which is, we debated it. First, is there subsidy in the real sense of it? Second, if it is, let us know the components. What exactly are they subsidizing? For me, I believe the duty of government is actually, the welfare, security of lives, property, which includes energy security also too. And that government responsibility actually is to subsidize everything. It's a matter of right. Is to subsidize everything, for his people, for his citizens.
Well, you just called us a capitalist democracy.
Yes, that's why I said it's not working.
How does it enhance production in that sense? What incentives are there then for people to produce if everything is subsidized?
When it is the welfare, and also when you subsidize, see, energy is the core area and incentive for production. So if people don't have cheap energy, then production will suffer. So government must do everything to make sure that people who are producing have cheap energy to be able to produce, products, and even the small, medium enterprises, even for individuals. The barber needs fuel, to run this generator. We don't have light. It needs fuel. The ladies who are helping themselves with salons and all the rest, they need all these things as support, to be able to even take care of themselves. By the time you begin to put heavy burden on those same things needed by people to survive, then you are not really taking care of the welfare of those people.
Well, Honorable, as we wrap up now, I just want to know what your thoughts will be again towards the unity of this country. I mean, agitations will always prevail. I know that one of the things you have also said you intend to push in the House of Representatives is this name change of the Osubi Airport, which has now been named for Alfred Dieter Spieth. You say you have nothing against him, or you think that should be changed. Some people will say, in the spirit of unity, shouldn't you just leave it alone?
No, history. We are very good with history. And history, every tribe, every small nation in Nigeria wants to preserve their culture, And culture goes with remembering their forefathers who did very well, and we don't want to let their name, be lost, like that. Naming of streets, monuments, and other things are to remember those people, remember those people. Even right now, there are prominent Urhobos, that are still alive. David Ejo was the governor in the Midwest.
There's a barracks named after him in Delta State.
That is in Delta. So why not, since we are beginning to take that pattern, let us just continue with that pattern. Name those public places after those people that are from that, area. So you preserve, the culture. It's an even inspiration, for the younger ones to see how much they can contribute, to their areas, where they come from, so that they will be remembered, for it. I don't query Chief Dieter Spieth by his own right. He's a prominent Nigerian, but himself also too. He has his own area, where he comes from. We should, in the spirit of that, also to have that Osubi Airport, named after a prominent Urhobo, person. The Orojo of Ukpe today is a very prominent Nigerian in its own right, and he's still alive. So why can't they even name the airport, after the Orojo of Ukpe? Even the next town, Uwie, the monarch in Uwie, is a first class, somebody that has also too served, in high capacity, in Nigeria. Why can't they pick all these, persons? It reminds me that we are still doing colonialism within the Nigerian context.
Well, Honorable, we hope that, that matter is amicably resolved, and that we also hope to catch up with you as the months progress and you spend your tenure in the House of Representatives. Honorable Ben Etanabene, thank you for coming on Hard Copy.
Thank you. I'm so grateful to be invited.
Well, that's the program tonight. In the meantime, what do you have to say as Nigeria clocks 6:03? Share your thoughts with us using the handles showing on your screen. Thank you for watching. I'm Maokwe Yusuf. Good night.